This week's podcast is Tatiana is back. It's going to be the third week in a row, but we're doing it on purpose because we did a fat loss mistakes podcast 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of questions come through. Last week, we talked about the metabolism side of things. This week, we're going to talk about understanding the supplements for weight loss. And for people out there that don't use supplements, you can probably hang up right now. But for people out there who do use supplements, there may be some great information here for you to hear about what supplements to use for weight loss.
Welcome to the Body Science Podcast. As always, the information contained in this podcast is for the information purposes only and is not designed to diagnose or be prescriptive to treat, prevent, or manage any injury, disease, or other health-related condition.
Welcome to Body Science HQ, the world of fit, happy, healthy, and we're going to talk about our favourite thing here at Body Science, SUPs. How are you, Tatiana?
Good, how are you?
And we're going to talk to the SUP queen. This young lady not only is our head nutritionist, she's working heavily in the regulatory and the product development side of the business. And I'm not going to talk about the highs and lows of taking a nutritionist and doing that because that's probably a leadership and resilience podcast more than anything. It's
Well, I can help you with that because I'm going to start by saying that you call me a subs queen. I am, because I understand everything about our subs, but I understand the importance of eating real food as well.
And hey, at no time do we say supplements over real food because that's just stupid talk.
So this is our argument every single day in the office, guys.
Yeah, it's you definitely have to have the food right and the training right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then supplement to success.
Exactly.
So before we start, Tatiana, I know you don't like doing this, but qualifications, so anyone listening knows who they're talking to.
Yeah, so I did a Bachelor of Public Health in Nutrition and Health Promotion, Masters of Nutrition and Dietetics, and a Masters in Public Health.
Yeah, nice. I'm putting you in a position of qualified enough to talk with us on this. Look, we've talked, just to refresh, we've talked a lot about your biggest fat loss mistakes, and one of the ones and this is all about people coming back to our office and talking to us, is we talked about supplements. We only touched on them lightly on the way through, but a lot of people said, hey, Greg, you were talking about the wrong supplements.
Yeah.
So let's turn that around. What are the right supplements?
Yeah, and that's a question that everyone asks a lot, especially because a lot of people don't know how to lose weight and lose fat without losing muscle, and the supplements are important in that area as well. As we said, diet and exercise will be your main thing, and supplements will supplement that diet, and will make that diet easier.
And you know what? And you were part of this program with Harriet in the development in the early days. You've mentored it a long way since that, and we've had Clinton, Andy and guys working on training programs. Before we go down talking about supplements for weight loss, let's let people know there is a tool that can help you with that eating and training we're just talking about. It's mybodyscience.com.au.
Yeah.
And if you type BSC Shred in the code, you can get access at no charge.
Yeah, so that was a very complex system that I had to work with our web designer guy to get all the calculations that I needed into that system.
So when you say all the calculations, why do I care? What are we calculating?
Because you put all your information into the system and we'll calculate.
Well, you're not putting your credit card and all those things.
No,
so when you say all your information, you mean like...
So body weight, your height, your age, gender, activity levels, type of exercise. From there, I can calculate your basal metabolic rate, which is the basic calories you need in a day just to survive, as well as your energy requirements in accordance to what you said that you wanted to do, either lose weight, put on muscle mass, just stay healthy. So from there, we calculate your energy requirements, what you should eat during the day, and you can download your food plan from there. Nice.
So mybodyscience.com.au has very, very qualified people meal plans. You design your own and it's pretty simple to use.
Yeah.
It has training plans for people who want to train in the gym, at home, or just cardio-based.
Yeah.
So jump in there before you just jump. Supplements aren't the answer. It's part of a program that works.
Yeah,
we all
exactly.
understand that.
Yeah.
So let's rip straight into some of the supplements that you recommend when you're talking to people about lifestyle change. We're hammering back on podcast 2 weeks ago, fat loss mistake.
A lot of people ask me this question. If you had no money and you weren't sponsored by Body Science, what would you have? Like, what would you be the supplement that you chose? No, supplements.
I'll do your notes.
No, oats. Oats for sure. And legumes. Protein powder, I think, and the right protein powder is really important. Not because I think I couldn't hit my protein intake, daily intake through food, but because it's a lot easier and you get a lot more stuff with protein nowadays. Like our protein is very high tech at the moment. You don't get just that mashed up protein anymore. We have a lot of other things in it as well. But it's more to get that consistency. We trying to get at least 20 to 40 grams of protein per meal. Mm-hmm. And that's not just for muscle support, but also to help with hunger control, craving control, just to send the information to your body that it's being fed. So having a good quality protein powder close by makes your life a lot easier and losing weight a lot easier.
Okay, so everyone runs at us and goes, I need a fat burner.
Yeah.
And the first thing we say is, hey, is your diet right and your training right and all those type of things.
Yeah.
Then now let's talk about a protein. So we haven't even gone to a fat burner yet.
Not yet.
In our ethos as a brand.
Yeah.
But we are a massive believer in our Thermogenic, in our Shred Ultra Advanced and our Hydroxyburn Shred.
Yeah.
And look, one of the reasons I love that is they are listed medicines. They're not just slapped on label with a whole lot of claims saying it does all these things, claim to be the biggest and best in the world.
Yeah.
It's a product that's gone through the rigors of controls.
Yeah. So let's understand what a thermogenic is, and I will explain why it's important to get the right one. So the idea of the thermogenic is to increase thermogenesis, which is the heat production in your body, which will make your body burn more calories because it just needs more energy. The important thing here, as you said, we've got a therapeutic good. So it's a listed medicine. Both of them actually, the Shred Ultra Advanced and the Hydroxyburn Shred. Why is this important? Because for us to say that this product increases thermogenesis, we had to prove through clinical trials from the ingredients that we use that actually happens.
So our recipe or formula, whichever word you want to use, is validated.
Yeah, so all the claims that we have on that label, we had to validate with at least 2 clinical trials per ingredient, per claim that we make.
Isn't that simple? Let's just jump on Google and do a search.
No, it's not that simple. Actually, if you go on Google, and that's really important for people, especially at this time with everything happening, clinical trials and most of the scientific research, you won't be able to access through Google. You need to pay for a proper membership of a library. Yep. So it's not that easy. We had to put a massive document together. It's like nearly 100 pages because we had to list all the clinical trials. What difference does it make is that sometimes a lot of supplements put a lot of caffeine. I think I've talked about caffeine here before. Caffeine can sometimes, if you overstep it, throw you the other way around. So it will wreck your metabolism a little bit and make it slow down. But a lot of these put a lot of caffeine, not great ingredients, and they claim all of these. That doesn't actually happen. So,
but just stepping back, and look, we'll touch on caffeine in a second.
Yeah.
Stepping back to the research validation area.
Yeah.
Like only 2 research projects, papers, who cares? But that's not true, because if we're selling this to a group of people that are 24 to 45, the research has to be in that group of people. It can't be in 70-year-old population plus.
Yeah.
And we can't just pick the eyes out of the little bits of research that might show a trend towards what we're saying.
Yeah.
It has to be the purpose of the study.
It has to be in humans. So a lot of the research for a lot of ingredients that are out there are in rats still, in lab rats still. It has to be in humans, and it has to be for the right age group. For example, with creatine, a lot of the research that proves that creatine is amazing, and creatine is amazing, but a lot of the research is in older adults.
It is too, yeah.
We can't use that sort of research because that's not the age group that we're working with.
And we discovered that little baby when we were listing our pre-workout chaos. It was a
difficult.
lot of work to list that product.
Yeah. So, and it's, again, going back to, it's for every ingredient, for every claim. So even if we have caffeine, we have 3 different claims with it. For every claim, we needed at least 2 clinical trials.
I don't think people get that. I think they think, okay, ingredient, 2 papers, jog on.
Yeah, no. So TGA actually looks at the clinical trials and the quality of the clinical trials. So if you have a clinical trial that has been paid by Body Science, for example, to say that it's amazing, they won't accept that. They really look at the quality of the clinical trials and the amount of people as well. If you have a clinical trial with 10 people, they won't accept it because statistically that doesn't work. So they're really particular with what studies we're using as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting because when you look at the side of a Shred Ultra Advanced label, there's some pretty cool claims on there and they're all validated. And when you look at the number of claims on there, and go out and have a look at your current fat burner, your thermo, and see what claims they've got on there. Because when you look at this, you've done a lot of work on this product.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It took us like a year and a half maybe to get everything together.
To build a base of quality research.
Yeah.
And like one of the things that people probably don't know out there as well, you think, okay, 2 papers, 2 per Yeah, but they've got to be less than 10 years old.
Yeah. So it has to be
current research.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
So, and then going back to that as well, if you see someone saying there's a fat burner, you already have a problem, because we're not allowed to say that anymore. Because burning fat, it's such a difficult mechanism to explain and to explore that you're not allowed to put that on the label anymore because it's too complicated. So you see things as thermogenesis, increased metabolism, which we know will increase the
Thyroid
burning
function,
fat. Yeah,
that type of thing.
it will increase burn fat mechanisms, but we can't call it a fat burner. So that is your first red flag if you see other products, to look at the quality, because the quality is really important. Otherwise, you just really may as well just drink water. Will increase your metabolism anyway, and there's no point on it.
Hey team, it's Greg from Body Science here. The Hydroxyburn Shred is back on shelf. It's our new therapeutic, has all the taste. And if you're looking for a better thermogenic, we've really pushed for the pursuit of a better thermogenic. Full disclosure on the labelling. What do we mean? Caffeine levels have changed. We all know the rules have changed. The ingredients have changed. The claims have changed. We have a clean label with premium quality ingredients for you. So what does that mean for you? You can look at things like metabolism, energy, sugar metabolism, fat metabolism, cognitive function, thyroid, and just general health and well-being. And it's all on the label. If you're taking a fat burner now and it doesn't say it on the label, have a look at it and go, why? Get on board. One of the things you touched on, and I cut you off before, was you started to talk about caffeine and the highs and lows and some of the issues. And caffeine is an issue in sports nutrition today. You know, it's being capped at 100 megs of caffeine per 3 hours. Yeah. There's a lot of compliance issues in the marketplace around that, and that's a government thing, not our thing to worry about. But at Body Science, we've got our products. Well, you can't make a listed medicine and not be compliant. Yeah. So we've got 100 megs of caffeine in our products, but it's not just caffeine these days that gives you that energy. No, you're looking for that pump and that excitement of taking one of these products, is it?
No. So if you take our Shred Ultra Advanced, for example, and you take 100 milligrams of caffeine in an espresso, for example, it's going to be completely different. Yep. So we've got a lot of nootropics here, which are really important. Especially, we were talking about this on the other podcast, taking as a thermogenic throughout the day when you're about to crash at work, for example. Having a nootropic is really important, because if you're just having a lot of caffeine, your brain will go into overdrive, your body will go into overdrive, and doesn't really work. Now, having a lot of the ingredients that are nootropics or will help with your brain clarity and function, it will make it a lot easier for you.
Because the mental side of diet is as important as the macro.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're on a calorie deficit.
Yeah, calorie deficit.
There you go. If you're eating a lot, if you're eating low calories, we call it the brain fog of dieting, and it's really hard, and it's usually what gets people craving sweets, because your brain just goes to sweets because sugar is the main thing for your brain to use as energy, and that's when people end up binge eating or eating more than they wanted to, and they feel guilty, and there's that snowball effect. So if you get your brain to work properly and your brain is not craving that energy, will make it a lot easier for you. Nice. So I know we started talking about thermogenics, but we went a lot deeper with this, because this one is a thermogenic and nootropic, and it makes dieting a lot easier.
Yeah, nice. You're a massive fan of sipping aminos too, aren't you? I know that's for you, and I've asked you this question, so I'll say the answer. A lot of it's to do with hydration strategies. You want people hydrated, so what makes you drink? Yeah. And obviously, when you're talking aminos, you're talking a few grams of aminos in a big 600-800 mils of water. Yeah. And sipped over an hour or so, and so that's a good. Yeah. It's almost like a flavour strategy, really. Isn't
exactly. Some days I'm really good at drinking water, and some days I'm not, and some days I just crave some sweets.
Yeah, just give me a sec.
He's drinking his water. Sometimes you're just craving sweets. For like after lunch, for example, I'm Brazilian. In Brazil, we always eat and then we have something sweet afterwards. So I'm always craving something sweet after lunch. It's a lot easier for me to have a bottle of aminos that will increase my water intake. It has a few aminos in it. RBCAs actually have glutamine as well, which is one of my favorite things in the world. But it will increase your water intake, but give you that bit of sweetness, and it's just flavor, and it's just easier to sip on.
And why do you sip the BCAAs versus the EAAs, which we make both?
No, I sip on the BCAAs because of the glutamine.
Okay.
Yeah. The glutamine really helps with cognitive function, gut health, immune system as well, and is great for muscle recovery.
Yeah, nice. Is there anything else that you'd recommend? Like, obviously, people go, I've got to have my greens and all. Is that important?
I really like the greens because it's about consistency. If you don't have time to eat properly, and I don't like saying that, but sometimes it happens.
It's a life hack. It's something you can do occasionally.
Like, for example, example, today I didn't have time to have a proper lunch. I had some nut, coconut water and greens because at least I'm getting my greens there. I'm getting veggies and fruits and all of that.
It's your little insurance policy.
And it's I call it the nutrient boost as well. If you're eating low calories and you're trying to lose weight and you're not having micronutrients properly, your body will also crave energy because it's craving all those micronutrients, but you end up going to sugar instead of going to fruits and veggies. So making sure you have the nutrient intake is really important as well.
So one of the things, and just finishing up, because I'm not going to talk all day about SUPs, but on the recent challenge you did where you offered 50 people the chance to change their lives over 8 hours on weight loss, muscle gain, whatever they wanted, you and Clint mentored this group through 8 weeks and the results are amazing. We'll talk about those later. You had multivitamin on the list.
Yeah, so we had either they could choose between multivitamin or the zinc, magnesium, B6.
Yep.
Again, I think it's really important to make sure we are having the right micronutrients, because if you're cutting on a few things and sometimes you don't have time to eat properly, having those micronutrients is just about the consistency as well.
Yeah,
so
it's just a life hack, multivitamin.
Yeah, so for us, the shred pack that made everyone's life really easy was a protein, the shred, the hydroxyburn shred, and a multivitamin or the zinc, magnesium,
And why
B6.
did you include zinc and zinc, magnesium, B6? Was that for like cramping, etc., from the training loads, or was it from a sleep perspective?
Both, muscle recovery as well.
Magnesium's an amazing ingredient.
Yeah. And zinc as well to help with hormone balance. So
good for
zinc,
the boys too, just quietly.
Yeah, so zinc will help with that hormone balance, especially to do with testosterone as well. It helps with skin health as well. There's a lot
Zinc's
to do.
got some amazing claims.
Yeah. So those two we knew was something good just to add on to make sure everyone was on top of their macronutrients.
Nice. So in just wrapping up, understanding your SUPs for weight loss, is there anything you want to add to any of this?
Well, there's one that I really love is our green tea TX100.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, for example, you take it to increase your water intake, but is also a listed medicine. So we've got the claims there that are actually, again, we don't need to go over this again, but they're proper claims. Yeah. But we have probiotics, vitamin C as well, and the green tea, which the green tea is green tea, clinical trials on green tea have been amazing. And they show that you actually burn more fat on green tea when you're exercising as well.
Okay.
So the exercise actually boosts the mechanism of burning fat through the antioxidants in green tea. So the clinical trials there are really, really exciting.
You know what I love about it? Sugar-free, tastes good. Open a sachet up, pour it in my 600 ml shaker or jar, bottle or whatever I've got.
And you're having the liquid. Yeah.
And then if you really want to up it, what I've been doing recently, and thanks to you, is on weekends, I get the shaker, fill it with ice, put the green tea in it, and then put a scoop of greens in there as well. If I have the lemon lime green tea, epic drink.
Yeah.
It's one of the...
And you got probiotics, you got vitamins, minerals, you got a bit of everything.
Mushies, you got everything in that bad boy,
Yeah.
So that's been a really popular drink for me on weekends.
Yeah, so just I think when we're talking about losing weight, fat loss, just think of convenient things. And
life hacks.
Yeah, and things that will keep your body going. So micronutrients, very important. Probiotics, very important. Drinking water, very important. So find ways of increasing your water intake. Protein just makes it easier for you. And the thermogenic will just keep your body going, increasing your metabolism.
Well, you've just nailed down fit, happy, healthy. I love it. Thanks for coming on board, Tatiana.
Thank you.